Hey everybody! Well, what you saw in the thumbnail is true. We are being forced in a way to sell our 4Runner that we just got about a little over a year and a half ago because we wanted a vehicle to last us the rest of our lives here in Baja. So in this video, I'm going to tell you why we have to sell the 4Runner, why there's kind of a silver lining to the whole thing, and I'm going to show you the 4Runner in case anyone that watches the video may be interested in purchasing it. We sold our Toyota Tundra to one of our viewers that came here and got it and did a little road trip home, and they got a great deal and it was awesome for everybody. So let's go check out the 4Runner. We're Douglas and Esperanza, and we decided to leave our lives in the US and move to magical Laredo, Mexico, where we built our boutique resort Pufferfish Villas from the ground up and work running it and saving to expand in the future. Please come with us to follow our journey and live before you die. So if you've been watching our videos, you know all about our 4Runner because we've made a lot of videos about it. We made videos back when we went up to the US to buy it. We went up and bought this in Oregon and we drove it back here to Baja. And you know that we had planned on keeping this car forever. This was the entire plan. The whole reason we went to all the effort to go all the way up to Oregon, find this 4Runner and bring it back here was that we plan to keep this forever. So why are we selling it? Well, we are kind of in a hard place here in Baja California Sur. And the problem is that the law in Mexico, it's very complicated, but it basically says that if you are a tax resident of Mexico, you cannot drive a US plated vehicle. And there's all kinds of interpretations of this that have to do with being a permanent resident, with being a citizen, with all these different things. They really don't mean anything. I've done a lot of research. The law is being a tax resident. So the problem is Baja for the past 10, 20 years, I don't know how long, has been a free travel zone. And they did that because so many people drive down here with their cars, and they wanted to make it easy for people that were coming down and traveling to Baja to keep their cars or US cars and drive them in Baja. And so they made the free travel zone, which means you don't need to get an import permit to bring a car and use it in Baja with foreign plates. But the caveat is that it has always been the law that if you are a Mexican tax resident, you cannot do that. But they have not enforced that, and they did not really even tell anybody about that law until just recently. And so just recently, Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum asked the Mexican government to start to find people not paying their taxes. And this whole law stems from tax law that they want. If you are here and you are a Mexican tax resident, they figure you are here the primary amount of your time, and they don't want you driving a foreign vehicle, which they got no sales tax money from, and they get no reoccurring tax money from to repair the roads and everything else through your licensing fees and all that. Everybody that you talk to that's an official in Mexico up until about 6 months ago would tell you if you're a permanent resident, you can drive a US plated car in Baja California Sur, no problem. But they started setting up checkpoints about 6 months ago, and they started warning people that their cars could be confiscated if they were a if they were a permanent resident driving a US plated car. So the short of the matter is, a Mexican tax resident can't drive a US plated car in Mexico, and we are Mexican tax residents because we make the primary amount of our income here in Mexico. So this means that we legally cannot drive this car in Mexico, and if we are caught driving this car in Mexico, this car could be seized. And it is, of course, a civil seizure. It's not a crime, but it could end up costing you thousands of dollars, and they could have your car for months, and then you're gonna have to pay to get your car exported from the country, meaning probably put onto a truck and taken out of the country. So it could cost you many thousands of dollars and a lot of hassle and a lot of time. So we are gonna have to sell this car. I hate it because I love this 4Runner. Now, some people are gonna say, well, why don't you just import the car? You can't import a 2019 Japanese built car, which 4Runners are built in Japan. You cannot import a Japanese built 2019 vehicle into Mexico unless it has been in Mexico continuously since like 2021, which this vehicle has not been in Mexico since 2021. So that means there is no way to import this car into Mexico. So we are going to sell this car. Now, we had a Tundra before, and we sold that actually through our channel. So we had a viewer that saw the Tundra on our channel. They ended up coming down here, buying it, driving it back to Tucson, and it was a great deal for them and a great deal for us. So we're going to see if we can do that again and find somebody else that might want to buy a really nice 4Runner and take a trip to Mexico and pick it up and take a road trip back. So now I'll show you around the 4Runner, and at the end of this video, if you're interested, I'm going to tell you about the silver lining of having to sell this vehicle and what it might mean for us here at Pufferfish Villas. But before we get that, let's take a look at this 4Runner. So this is a Toyota 4Runner SR5 Premium. It has a 2.5-inch lift kit on it, and it has the lifted shocks on the back. It is in fantastic condition. It has, you know, a regular hitch. It's got very new off-road open country RT off-road tires. We added the steps to the 4Runner. These are really nice iArmor, really solid steps, and it has some lights added up here. It has this blacked out bar in the front, which was added to it, and that kind of gives it a cool look. Other than that, the exterior is pretty much stock exterior. There are a very, very few little teeny weeny like paint imperfections. This is not one of them, that's a bug. There's one that I know of right here. It's a little tiny fleck of paint, and I'm looking because I think there is, there's not much here because I can't even find these things. So I thought there was, oh, right here. There's a little paint scuff right there. That's, I think, the only two paint imperfections I know of on this car. The good news is this car is white. It is very easy to do touch-up paint on a white car because it's not a metallic color, and those could easily be touched up and look very good. So other than that, there's nothing else wrong on the exterior. This car has never been in an accident. It's got a clean Carfax. It's got no damage to any panels or anything. It is in really good shape. All right. The inside, again, is in very good shape. Let's take a look at it. Standard, if you know a 4Runner, this is pretty standard interior. This 4Runner has 43,906 miles on it, and it has the infotainment system. It's got you know, rear heater and heated mirrors, and it has the standard, it's got an inverter. I'll show you that in the back. It's got heated windshield wipers. It also has traction control off, 8-track, downhill assist here. So pretty standard for a 4Runner. It has heated seats, which is part of the premium package. And, you know, it is 4-wheel drive, low, high, 4-wheel drive. I have also installed a CURT braking system for trailer brakes. So this controls your trailer brakes when you plug in your trailer into the 7-pin hitch in the back. Now, all of the seats have seat covers on them. Let me get back here. I'll show you the back seats. The back seats also have seat covers on them the whole way. The seats are a black leather. These seats are in all perfect condition. We put these covers on when we bought the car just so the seats would not get damaged or ruined in any ways, but they are in perfect condition underneath of these covers. It's got floor mats. It has floor mats in the front too. The regular Toyota floor mats. We have a little cover here that we have on the center console, but it also is in perfect condition. So pretty much standard back here. Now we'll take a quick look in the back. And so standard cargo area. You know, it's got the first aid kit here. So it has a 120 volt adapter back here and also has a 12 volt power back here. So pretty standard, also has the mats here in the back. So that's the car there. If you are interested in the 4Runner, we are putting it up for sale for $31,000 USD. And I did the blue book on this. As I said, it's a 2019 SR5 Premium with 43,906 miles. Blue book's out at around $30,000 to $32,000. I looked online in the San Diego area, which is where we would go to sell it. In San Diego, they are selling very similar. There's quite a few for sale around the $33,000 to $35,000 range, especially for this mileage, and they are even asking 33, 34, 35,000 for ones up to 70, 80,000 miles. So this one is a low mileage 4Runner. I don't see any evidence it's ever been off-roaded. It's in really good shape, and it's a really good price. We're pricing it right in the middle of the blue book value because we know somebody's gonna have to travel down here. Now you get a nice vacation out of it. You can stay here for a week. You could even stay with us if we have availability here at Pufferfish Villas if you want to. That's why we're doing kind of in the middle of the range. Otherwise I would price it at the top of the range, $32,000. So we're giving it a little allowance for the travel expense that somebody's gonna have to do if they wanna travel down here to get it and then drive it back. So if you're interested in buying the 4Runner, there's gonna be information in the description below of how to get in touch with us, and we can work with you, and maybe this could be your 4Runner. It is an awesome vehicle. Whoever gets it is going to be really happy. And if you're interested in the history of the vehicle, at least our history with the vehicle, go back and take a look at our videos. Like I said, we've got several videos on this vehicle, when we went up and bought it, when we put the running boards on it, when we brought it back up here, everything. So it's all been documented, and you can go take a look at that if you want to too. So now you're probably thinking, how am I going to put a silver lining on having to sell our dream car here? Well, the whole fact of the matter is we have been trying to figure out how we could generate some more income and speed up our whole schedule for building Pufferfish Villas and then eventually building our house. So to go back to the beginning, when we first came down to Loretto, we decided we were going to build Pufferfish Villas. And I did a budget. I did all the spreadsheets for our rental income and our budget and everything else. And our rental income, I was very accurate with. In fact, we're exceeding our estimates for rental income slightly. But I was not accurate on build cost to build Pufferfish Villas, and we made some videos about this during the process. If you remember, if you've been with us for a long time, you remember our videos when we were really thinking we were going to be able to build 4 villas and everything else down at Pufferfish Villas in the very beginning. And then when we went to build, the build costs were almost double of what we had projected. And we had been told these build costs by builders in town, by people who had recently built stuff. And so we got some really bogus information that we used to make our estimates out of. So in the end, we decided the best course of action was to scale back to 2 villas instead of 4 villas, which is always been kind of our target, 4 villas total, and to build all of the amenities in the beginning so that our guests have all the amenities from day one, and then later on we can build 2 more villas. But what this did was greatly extend out our timeline for building our own house. So in the beginning, we thought we had enough money from all of our savings that we had to build 4 villas and the entire Pufferfish Villas with 4 villas. And then from our projections of rental income, if we had 4 villas running full time, we would be able to save enough money to build our house in about 3 years. So we were really looking at building Pufferfish Villas, taking a year to get to up and running, and then 3 years later, we would have enough money saved to start building our house. Well, you know that didn't happen. We only were able to build 2 villas, so we're only generating half the income. In fact, less than half the income because all the villas are going to share the amenity costs. So right now, only 2 villas are sharing the amenity costs instead of 4. So when we get 4 villas, we're actually going to be making more than double what we are now because they're all sharing that amenity cost. So what it ended up being is the amount of income that we generate from Pufferfish Villas is now being saved up to build our 3rd villa and then our 4th villa. So we are going to have to operate Pufferfish Villas for about 4 years to get enough money to build Villa 3. Then we are going to have to operate for about another 3 years with 3 villas to build Villa 4. We are now 7 years in the future and we are back to 0 because we spent all our money on Villa 4. So then at 7 years from now, we are going to have to start saving for our house. And it's probably going to take another 5 years with 4 villas to save enough to build our house, since the house costs go up too. So you add up 3 years, or 4 years, 3 years, and another 5 years, and we're looking at a minimum of 12 years until we are going to be into a house. Could be as much as 15 years from now until we're in a house. And I'm 55 this year, so that's like 70 before we're going to be into our house. So we've been looking at how can we accelerate this timeline, and we've been looking at how can we generate more revenue, how can we build other streams of income besides Pufferfish Villas that we can use to put into this whole process and build these villas faster and then build our house faster. So this is kind of a forced raising of income here with a 4Runner, because having to sell this, we've decided that we're just going to sell this vehicle. Let's say we sell it for $31,000, what we're asking for it. We're not going to buy another $31,000 car. We're going to have to buy a Mexican vehicle. So I think we're just going to go to the route of getting an old junker truck that I can use for, you know, construction work and that type of thing. And hopefully it can get us to La Paz and back when we need to go. And that's what we're going to have for our vehicle here. Hopefully that we can get into that vehicle for maybe $5,000. So that will give us an additional $25,000 to put towards Villa 3 construction, which will definitely help supercharge that construction, because right now it's been free up till now, but it's going to start costing money as soon as I start doing rebar and concrete and then start getting block and building block walls. Now we're going to have to spend money to buy all those materials and to pay a crew to do the concrete slab and all that. So having this extra money will really help us to accelerate our timeline. And then of course we are still looking for other ways to increase our revenue. You know, I always thought it'd be great if my YouTube channel blew up and I was making, you know, $100,000 a year from YouTube. Unfortunately, that never happened. I just did my taxes. I made $936 on YouTube last year. And I probably spent more than $936 because I pay for music licenses, I have cameras I bought, drones that I bought because the drones got destroyed, all this stuff. So, you know, when it comes down to it, YouTube is basically a break-even type of operation, but it is a very good advertising for us and Pufferfish Villas, and that's one of the reasons we do it. The other reason is I just like doing it and like showing you guys, and if somebody wants to watch me doing all my projects and stuff here in Mexico, well, then we'll keep the YouTube videos coming so that you can watch that. So in the end, I'm gonna be super sad to see my baby here go away, but hopefully it'll go to a new home, somebody that really enjoys it and likes it and will use it, and we can then recoup some cash, which we can put into building villa number 3 when my back gets good enough to resume construction, which will hopefully be soon here. And then we'll see how things go. Maybe we can figure out another way to generate some income. If anybody's got any ideas on what we could do, let me know in the comments below. All right. Thank you guys for watching this whole episode, especially if you aren't interested in the 4Runner. It might not have been very exciting, but thank you guys if you made it to the end. If you want to subscribe and see all of our videos, you can do that. Also, hit the like button if you like this video, and always remember to live before you die.